Hey, how you doing? I've got a 2 p.m. appointment with Dr. Goodwin.
What's your name?
Travis, last name's Kopash.
Let's have a sit. Let's call it.
Yeah.
Go upstairs to 2A.
To 2A?
Yeah, sit.
Okay, sit there?
Yeah, just sit there.
Okay. Perfect. Thanks, man.
El baby, no, el baúl sale ahí. No, no tiene de pegar para no perder. ¿Y qué pensaba? ¿Que me iba a pegar? No, mi amor, es que él dijo que ustedes pueden venir gratis cuando me dé la gana. Claro que porque hay que pagar para entrada. Pues sí, hablamos de ahora.
Hey, you don't,
You have a Max?
where would you like me to go?
Max?
I don't have one.
Hello, do you have a Max here? Max. Thank you.
Sí, ya él puse un referido para la subir de los subidos. Ellos te tienen que llamar cuando ya está hecho en su mente. Voy a verificar los apoyos que tengo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Travis, you can put your bag down there. Take off your jacket for me. What is the dishes like?
It's 113.81.
And then you stand on the screen. Travis, any depression?
No.
That's the scale.
179.2.
So you're like 177. I don't have your height. I can check your height.
6 feet,
Let's see.
5'11". With my back.
All right, you can have a seat.
Thanks. That's all it was.
I'm coming. Don't put it on.
Okay.
Oh boy. 5'10", almost 5'11". You can put your cane down. On your lap. All right. So you will sit back outside at 2A
Okay.
and you wait for her.
Sounds good. Thank you. Oh, have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Yeah, they've been, a lot of people have been waiting on her, so I don't think they've called you yet. No, I don't think so, because it's still waiting, still waiting. I already scheduled your wife's nurse. Yeah, I scheduled her a follow-up. I'm waiting for the panel to get put in. Like, I already called for it, but they're, I don't know what they're doing. Do you have my chart? Do you have my chart for her? For your wife? Do you have my chart for her? Because they are gonna schedule it. I already called. So as soon as it's done, it will come up on her chart. But I just have no control. I've already called them. I'm gonna print out the paperwork. So yeah, just it should pop up there anytime in the next 20, 30 minutes. And when it does,
Hey, how you doing?
How's everything?
Just hanging out.
It's going, right?
Yeah.
Okay, everything is good with the medication and stuff.
Well, they're gonna prescribe me more today. But
Right. But besides today, it was going.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Okay, how's the Bronx?
It's cool. It's the Bronx.
Thank you.
You know, it's what it reminds me of Brooklyn 20 years ago.
Okay. No, because it's the Bronx. Okay, yeah.
Well, it's just, you know, like, it was the same thing. It was like Brooklyn 20 years ago wasn't really gentrified. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, it just looks like that. It looks like Brooklyn did 20 years ago. They're like starting to put condos up. You know what I
Okay, you
mean?
see it slowly.
Yeah.
Slowly. So you're in the South Bronx.
I'm off 176th Street on the 4.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's pretty decent up
Yeah.
there. I mean, yeah, minor little.
It's like there's whatchamacallit. There's like it's a lot of like I guess the row houses, not townhouses. You know what I mean? Just like 2,
all
3
stacked
story.
up, behind each other. Yeah.
It's cool. I mean,
Okay.
you know,
Okay, good.
it's sort of just.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that area, so it's not too bad. I've seen worse. Yeah, I would take that.
Yeah, it's cool. You know, it's like it's just It's so weird seeing condos go up
I
everywhere. You know
know,
what I
left
mean?
and
It's like,
right over there, because they have like they told me like there's some new buildings by the stairs. They got a Popeyes coming. There's no more. I said, well, what about the hallway store? They took that down. It's a huge building by the train.
well, it's
I was
just,
like,
but they're all empty. You know
I
what I mean?
know.
It's
They
just
just
like,
got to Flashtown too.
Please call
So
5584
yeah,
yeah.
no,
to entertain you.
it's
Please
cool.
call
It's like, it's just,
5584.
you know, where do people end up going after that? You know what I mean? It's just like,
No, it's just a bunch of well, I guess they say it's gonna help with the housing situation because it's like oh they're gonna do like right off of 176. What a guy did tell me they're gonna redo the neighborhood park, so that's like up off of 177 next to the schoolyard. Right
yeah.
there, they're gonna redo park there. They're trying to add a little more to the 177 park that's by Walton.
Which is weird. It's like, when we lived in Williamsburg 20 years ago, nobody lived there, and then it got gentrified. So everybody either went to Greenpoint or Bushwick. I went to
Right.
Greenpoint, and that's where I stayed. But the people that went to Bushwick got pushed out of Bushwick into like Crown Heights and then
Right.
Flatbush. You know what I
Right.
mean? And then I don't know if they still call it Lefferts Garden. They
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
do. They still call it
absolutely
Lefferts
do.
Garden?
Yeah, absolutely.
My friends lived out there forever. It's beautiful
Yeah,
out there.
right.
You know,
It is. I had a couple of friends out there. Yeah.
it's a little bit of a trek, but it's like pretty.
I do. I like the surrounding.
Yeah, you're right by the
Everything
park.
surrounding, that area. I did enjoy that.
Yeah, so it's right past that big like traffic
so
circle.
You do have a good
and,
memories. Not too many big changes, as what you said.
Yeah, well,
No, that's not.
I mean, where else? You know what I mean? And then I think people started going to Queens. Queens is cool,
Right.
families, and I guess the Bronx now.
I can't wait because they did a lot of changes to the Bronx. It's slowly moving up, but majority of the changes came to the 138 area, 138.
Because it's closer to the water.
Oh yes, Bruckner. Oh my, it does look very beautiful.
Yeah, you
And
got
now they
Yankee Stadium over there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's redone and nice. And alongside now the Hunts Point, so they're turning it into the walkway, the park. So
I was just curious, like, what the history was with the Bronx, like how, you know what I mean? Like just how the Bronx ended up being the Bronx. You know what I mean?
well, see, the Bronx, as they say, is almost like not like Staten Island. You say they say Staten Island is like the forgotten borough.
Oh, it's a garbage dump, but they
Yeah,
made it into
it
like
was.
a.
Yeah, it was more sort of forgotten, undeveloped part of these boroughs. A lot of burned down buildings. So the Bronx really, then in the early '80s, late '70s, came together like in a community to like kind of rebuild those burned down buildings. At that time, I read a little bit about it. The tenants were gutting out the buildings and helping construction companies because they weren't as popular as they are today.
Yeah.
And kind of reconstruct things.
Which you have those huge stone archways there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the BQE that passes over that or what freeway that is, but I mean those things must have been built in what, the 20s.
It had to be because when you look at some photos, and I went as far as back as the '60s, it was there, and some train stations that were actually there are gone.
Edma Orlana
So like that
23, Edma
Mount Eden,
Orlana
that Cross
23.
Bronx Freeway, they just added a little park and made
Yeah.
it more durable. But yeah.
When I lived in Greenpoint, there was these like two old guys that lived at the end of the block. They found their homes. They'd lived there for 70 years, something like that. It was a Polish neighborhood. But they would tell me stories about how they would rent rooms for like $2.
Right.
It's like they had pictures, but there was a trolley car that ran through Greenpoint. It was just those guys were awesome, man.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, totally.
I just sit on the stoop with them and talk like they had just the funniest stories about just how crazy it was,
Things
you
used to
know?
be, right? It's just a matter. I trip over like the infrastructure. When they say, hey, this high school right there, it was a train that ran right through. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's like
impossible. I can't even imagine it now.
well, the crazy thing is, did you ever hear about when they were trying to build the Second Avenue subway line?
Yes.
And like they couldn't get, they have those big, they look like giant bulldozers, and they got like a big drill bit on the front.
Yeah.
They couldn't drill through the rock because the rock was so hard from all the buildings being on top of the land and compressed, and it kept the drill bits cost $1 million, and they would drill in, and it would only go a couple feet and burn the drill out, and they'd have to replace it.
No. I just knew once they said it wasn't able to be done, and I'm like, get out of here. And then I knew it was like it couldn't have been so much of labor. I'm like, nah, somewhere they hit a brick wall. For real.
Yeah, they just like the land in Manhattan because the buildings was just too hard to dig under anymore, which is so wild. But
It is
Yeah.
nice to see them revive and some
yeah, you hope they keep it. Like they kept the West Village has stayed pretty much the same. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's all kind of. You still got like old playhouses over there
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
definitely.
stuff like that.
I love to see those landmarks that are actually still there. So a lot of them now are getting like gutted out and like redone, so they're no longer movie theaters. Some have become churches. One I'm waiting for this one that I was cast on maybe a month ago was located in the Mount Pleasant area of the South Bronx, and it's like an old school theater, and they used to do plays there among us. They said they got it, and I said, "Are you
That's a
serious?"
bummer.
So I'm just waiting to see what it turns to.
Well, they had in Williamsburg. I think it's on. It's got to be like South 10th and Bedford or something like that. No, maybe it's like South First. There was a big church there, and they gutted it and they made it into condos.
Oh, they did.
And people live in it.
Yeah.
I just thought that was kind of like, how you gonna do that? You know
Yeah,
what I
I
mean?
don't like that.
Yeah.
They had like a really old school movie theater from the 70s and 80s located on the Grand Concourse. It's really not too far from where you're at now. And they just like refined everything. It just kind of like brought it back to life and made it a church. So it was still good to see a lot of the stones and pieces that were there from those days. Even me as a kid, I'm like, I used to run up and down the stairs. I remember it vividly.
It's cool. I hope they keep doing it. It's like we were talking about, like Lefferts Garden has all those old kind of like colonial style, like sort of like mansions, not mansions. You know what I mean? Like I hope they keep that. It's cool
Me
looking,
too.
you know.
Yeah.
I was
That's
just
the thing.
every time they put up a new glass condo, you're just like,
Do we need another
do
one?
you really
Right?
need it? It's
I
just
know,
empty.
'cause
It's
it's like
silly, you know?
now the hardship of how difficult you're gonna make it for individuals to get in there, and now with all of the housing, now we need other things. So now here comes the school. It takes on other adults like now just to create like an atmosphere.
But it's that, and it's like how far out. It's like, you know, I lived in the Polish neighborhood, and when that started getting gentrified, the Polish people ended up moving to Ridgewood, which is sort of like the end of Brooklyn, where it like borders on Queens. You know what I mean? It's just like when that gets gentrified, it's like,
What now?
yeah, where do they go? You know what I mean? It's just like,
You know, it's so weird because when I was speaking to the he was telling me about the history of the Bronx, and before that became gentrified, there was a lot of Jewish people and German people, believe it or not, that lived in that same 176 area. And she said, you know what's going to happen? Slowly, history is just
Maria, can you please call 1764?
well, this is it's, I mean, I don't know if have you ever been in the Hasidic neighborhood in Brooklyn? It's in between like South Williamsburg and the Navy Yard.
No, we drove by a few times, but never had a chance to actually take it over.
We like anytime the BQE was backed up, you would always just drive through the Hasidic
Right.
neighborhood or whatever, and we were going through one, and there are you know those like big garbage bins, like the big green ones they put out there. So we're going through, and they had doors on them, and I like waited, and then finally I was like, all right, I gotta ask. And I was like, why do all these garbage bins have doors on them? And they were like, oh, it's a Jewish holiday where you have to sleep outside. So since it's Brooklyn, you can't sleep outside.
Right.
So the workaround was they would sleep in these dumpsters that were converted into like little things that they could sleep in for the Jewish holiday. But it's
Wow.
yeah. Did you ever hear about Bloomberg's third term?
Yeah.
So they had just put the bike lanes in, you know, and
when
so
it started.
the bike lane ran from basically Greenpoint through Williamsburg and then through the Hasidic neighborhood all the way into the Naval Yard and Dumbo down there. And the Hasidic community, mainly the women in the Hasidic community, weren't very happy about a bunch of hipster women riding through
Right.
without
Of course not.
with no clothing on. So the deal was is that Bloomberg would get the Hasidic vote for a third term if they removed the bike lanes through the Hasidic neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
So that's how Bloomberg got elected to the third term, and they
Right,
removed all the bike lanes.
Right.
Crazy,
See
right?
that? Yeah.
But I mean, out of all the neighborhoods, the Hasidics hold that neighborhood down. Like nobody goes in,
Yeah, but
nobody goes
I've
out.
heard it's a really tight knit community.
Yeah, it's a couple. We've got a couple friends that are like, Hasidic, and you're not allowed to sell your property to somebody who's non-Hasidic.
Wow. You see?
Yeah, women aren't taught science or math past the third grade level.
Wow.
And this is like still in New York, you know what I mean?
No,
2023. It's
Okay, no wonder.
but you
It
know,
was always- Okay, let me see.
that was good talking to you.
Yeah, because he needs something. But it's like she don't owe it to him.
Are you guys busy today?
Yeah, we were all pretty busy. Let me go ahead and see if I can probably do something.
Gian QN 2C, Gian QN 2C.